Welcome to Shanie Sunshine Lounge, where we learn from those who are giving their hearts to their crafts and their businesses. Today, I have an awesome entertainer, Billy Buchanan, to share a little bit about himself, his craft, and being in the entertainment business. Billy comes from the James Brown School of Entertaining, which means that brother got soul. Billy, thank you for joining us here in the lounge.
Thanks for having me. James Brown, that's high praise, man.
Well, sounds like it is very much deserving. I've seen a few of the YouTube videos. So, yeah. You can tell you love what you do.
I do.
All right, Billy. So we are going to ask you to share a little bit about yourself and what had you become an entertainment.
Okay.
And so let's start there.
Well, the short version, originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I came up in a real musical family. My mom's a musician, plays piano. I have tons of uncles and aunts who sang and played guitar, and so it was always around me. Of course, in the church, it was always around me.
Wait, then, Billy, you said sang. You didn't say sing. You said sang.
Oh,
that
sang. S-A-N-G. That's right.
Yes, you can tell already. Like that's a whole different thing right there.
Yeah. People don't understand. That's right. But my grandmother sang, all my aunts and uncles, and so it was always around me. It was kind of honestly like I didn't have a choice. So I knew pretty early on that music was my calling. I'm like 7, 8 years old. I was like looking at my dad's album covers and reading all the credits and trying to figure out who did what and who sang on what and who wrote what. I was that kid. All my friends were outside playing kickball, and I was inside listening to records. It really drew me in. There was nothing else for me. I love sports and basketball and all that stuff, but man, music was always it for me, always. Moved to, after high school, I had a boys scholarship. I moved to Atlanta, went to school there at the Atlanta Institute of Music, studied there for a while, and joined this band while I was there. We were young guys, man. A band we put together called Skin Deep, and within a year we were opening up for all these major artists, and I'm like 19, 20 years old, and it was pretty crazy. Anyway, from that point, I was meeting tons of people in the industry and stuff, and that band broke up. I ended up putting another band together that got a deal in Nashville, ended up moving to Nashville from Atlanta, and from there it's just been a crazy little ride since then. I lived in Nashville for almost a decade, and then I moved to Florida about 13 years ago, and I've been this has kind of been my hub, for the last 13 years, and it's been great. I still travel quite a bit, but I'm based out of here in St. Augustine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, at a early age. So your dad did everybody did music.
Yeah, well, my dad, it's funny. My dad's not a musician, but he's a huge music lover. Like to this day, I've never seen anybody with an album collection like my dad had. I remember like being a kid, and it's funny how when you get older, you think back on these albums you used to listen to, like Earth, Wind and Fire's That's the Way of the World, all the Al Green records. He had Hendrix. He had everybody. He had Hendrix. He had Janis Joplin. He had Crosby, Stills and Nash. He had this real wide, broad collection. So that's why when you listen to my stuff, if you like go through my albums, it's pretty. Even though soul music is definitely the heart of who I am, you can hear a lot of influences in there because I grew up listening to so much stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so have you had any changes over the past few months that you've had to make to keep a smile on your face?
Oh, honey, we all have, right? I mean, man, this is who in our lifetime thought we would be dealing with this? Nobody, Right. And so it's funny, man, because you really do see what people are made of through something like this. I look at a lot of our musician friends, man, they just completely fell apart through this. I mean, I'm reading their Facebook posts and I'm going, dude, you didn't have a plan at all? No savings, no nothing, Anyway, what I did, and I'm so thankful, So I started doing all these Facebook Live shows, you know, and just thinking, just maybe, you know, maybe a few fans will give a little bit of money to help pay a little bill. It sustained me. Like, I didn't miss any bills. None.
Yeah.
So I really, because what I did, you know what I did? I did a show. I did 4 shows a week. You know, that first couple of months, I did 4 shows a week, and each show was a different theme. So, I mean, I dug deep. I was doing, like, the soul set. I was doing, like, the one-hit wonder set. I just, you know, I tried to be creative and give people something different every day, and it worked out. I mean, it was crazy.
I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. But you know what? Because that actually gave it allowed you to be even more creative.
That's
like
right.
Tune in. It's like, okay, let me, and it's like sometimes it's some of the things that you've been wanting to do all along, and
right.
you just haven't had the space to do it. And
exactly.
now it's the perfect time.
You know what it was for me? There's tons of songs that I had been wanting to add to my set list anyway. So I just took the opportunity to learn a bunch of the music, and so it was great. It was definitely stressful for a bit, but I kind of got into my groove, and you know, and of course, you know, you're literally playing to an iPad. Like I'm in I'm in my garage. I got all this elaborate setup behind me, so I got the curtain and I got the lights, but I'm playing in front of a freaking iPad. You know what I mean? And so that part of it was real different. 'Cause I was trying to still be entertaining and, you know, all that. So.
It sounds like that was a success.
Exactly.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to a portion that we call the lounge talk.
Okay.
Part 1. Woo! So, so here's my first question. It is hard work, right? To have to deal with so many challenges, and you touch so many people's hearts. So what touches your heart, and what makes this all worthwhile?
Wow. I think the first thing I would say to you is my love for music. I always tell people this, no matter how hard the industry has been, and there's definitely been, you know, some years where it's like, what the heck am I doing here, you know? But it's always been my love of music that sustained me, because that's never let me down. Like to this day, I'm such a big fan of music still. You know what I mean? Like I can still put on some of my old, like I always tell people, you know, if I was stuck on an island, it would be Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. That would just be it. That would be the album that I would listen to.
Wow.
Oh, that's always been my joint. That album right there, man. There's everything you need on that record, man. It has all the musicality, the spirituality. It has everything you need to sustain yourself.
Oh my goodness. I have to say I love Stevie Wonder. I grew up in Detroit, and
yes.
The Stevie Wonder came to my house. Like my mom was really good friends with his.
Excuse me? Wait, stop.
Yes.
Stop. What'd you just say?
Stevie Wonder came to my house. Yes.
And you were in the house?
Yes, I was such a little girl. Oh my gosh! And I remember the limousine pulling up, right? And everybody's always like, you know, that look like, who is that type thing? And that I will never, ever, ever forget that. Like,
so how old was he then?
Oh, I had to be about 9 or 10.
So how old would he have been?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you this. I will be 43 next month. So. Okay,
so then if you were 9 or 10, this would have been in the 70s?
It was in let's see, I moved down here. It was in the late 80s. It was in the late 80s.
Oh, he was a grown man then. Okay, yeah. I thought maybe it was when he was a kid or something. Yeah, he was a grown man by then, yeah.
Nope. He came over he was in town checking on family, and he came by to see my mom.
Wow, that's amazing.
He came by to see my mom. Yeah, it really was. It really was. And I never forget it as long as I live, because he didn't stay that long. It was just enough for you to be like, awe and ah, right?
Right. So here's the real question. Did you get a picture?
Of course not. I was like,
it didn't happen. It didn't happen then. It didn't happen.
Oh, no. As long as I still have a memory, it happened.
Oh, man. I tell people this all the time. You know, I tell people, all the people that I've met and all this stuff. And they go, where's the picture? Well, it wasn't the right time. It wasn't appropriate to be asking them for a picture. And they're like, dude, it didn't happen, man. You ain't got no picture to prove it. I mean, anyway.
As an adult, I know to capture the picture.
Right.
As a kid.
And you know what, too? Also, it was before, like, cell phones and stuff. So it was a major ordeal to get a picture.
It was.
Right.
It really was. But, that was the beautiful thing was because a lot of my godfather worked in a hospital at Henry Ford. So, it was like all different people, family that were like trying to come up. Anita Baker trying to come up. So they practiced in the basement, you know what I mean, at her sister's house. And her sister worked at the hospital, who was really good friends with my godfather. So, those kind of things were absolutely amazing when I was growing up,
That's amazing.
I still have those cherished memories. You know what I mean? So when she was with Chapter 8. So yeah.
Oh, Anita. Don't get me started on her, man. Don't get me started. All right. So what was your question? We just got way off track. What was your question again?
What made it worthwhile?
Yeah. Oh yeah, so the music, of course, is the first thing. It's like that's what really keeps me coming back. It's the listening to great music, creating great music, making music with great people. Those are the things that keep me coming back. Also, as I got older, started raising a family. It was important for me it was my job, so I had to get up and work and put the work in. Those are the things. That's really what kept me going, and of course, then it comes down to this is the gift God gave you. Don't just sit on it. Get out here and use it. So those are the things Those are the things that keep me going.
That's what's up. Thank you so much for that. We have another question coming up right after we get into this groove. We're gonna listen to "Show You Right." So DJ, that mic is hot.
Hey, this next tune is an original song called Show You Right. It's off my album, The Music Man. You got a thing about you. Girl, it's no secret. You're easy on the eye. Show right. The way you move, my darling, your every motion takes my breath away. Show you right. You make me wanna say, ooh, mama, show you right. You send the shivers up and down my spine. Show you right. You make me wanna say, ooh, mama, show you right. Show me something now. The thought of your presence gives me butterflies. Show you right, show you right. Hey, thanks, y'all.
Woo-hoo! Okay.
Man, that song has gone through so many changes, man. I'm listening to it and I'm sitting there thinking about how old that song is. First of all, that song, I wrote that song in probably 1995.
What?
Like
I don't care. I don't care if you wrote that in 1899.
I'm just saying. Well, I'm just saying that as a songwriter, it's funny because sometimes you'll write a song and you just kind of. That song I've actually been playing it a lot of years, you know, and it's kind of gone through all these different little metamorphoses. But it's people always dig it, and it's kind of one of those tunes that it is a little timeless. The groove is pretty. It's not trendy, you know. It's funk. Funk doesn't really ever go out, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter where I'm at, man. I drop into that, man, and people are always on the dance floor, and it's cool.
Yes.
It's
clearly,
cool. Yeah,
clearly, because I was over here chair dancing.
That's so funny. Yeah, the version you played of that is off of my my album Live Act 1. That album was recorded. I do these socks when we were before quarantine and all this. We do these sock hops where I do like once a month. I put on these big dances where people can come in and I play all the old 50s and 60s soul and early rock stuff, and people come out there and they do all their swinging and shagging and stuff, and then I drop into that and you can forget it, man. They go crazy. Yeah.
Okay. So many different songs have their own creative mixes, right? So what share something different that surprised you about producing that one?
Well, you know, it's funny because what I remember the most about it, I was trying to imitate Prince in that song. That's what I remember the most. That's what I remember the most, like the do 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 that part. I was totally trying to be Prince, you know. Totally. I mean, just totally trying to rip my boy off. So that's the first thing I remember. And the second thing is, of course, I wrote that with a buddy of mine named Mike Hartnett, who's a big writer now. He lives in Nashville, and the dude he's worked with Fergie and Trey Songz and tons of people. But when we were writing that, we were young, you know. So we're these young dudes who we all loved. In that band, I was in a band called Beehive at the time, and it was a funk band. And so we were, you know, really trying to make music that sounded like our heroes, Prince and The Time, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So that tune just reminds me of that time period, you know, and really trying to figure out who we were musically, you know. And that song has really kind of stood the test of time, man. I mean, I've been playing that song for over 20 years, and it's been great, you know. So.
Show you right, baby.
Yeah, show you right. That's right, baby.
Okay, so it's time for a little bit more lounge talk. So are you ready for the next question?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I have learned that my attitude impacts the type of results that I get in life. So I've seen people with good intentions with attitude that hurts their efforts. So please share 2 or 3 attitudes that are either foolish or naive when it comes to being successful in the entertainment business.
Oh, I can tell you tons of stories. I'm going to start with myself first, you know, because, you know, as a front man, you know, as a leader, you know, there's a good way to lead and there's a horrible way to lead, right? Even though you're the boss, right? Even though you're the boss and yes, everybody's going to follow your lead and listen to you, you can do that poorly, right? You can treat people poorly, speak to people poorly, all those things. Man, that was me early on. I'll be the first to admit it. When I look back, like, dude, no wonder I went through so many band members, you know, because I wasn't, I mean, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't leading well, you know, I wasn't being an example for them to follow, you know, I was just trying to get my way or whatever, you know how it is. You're young, you're learning, you know? So that's the first thing I learned, that it's important to, when you hire somebody or when you bring people into your band or whatever situation is where you're kind of leading people, you have to lead them in the right way. You have to lead them kind of, they call it servant leadership. You want somebody to do something, show them how to do it. Let them see you doing it, and they're going to be willing to do it. They're going to want to do it, you know. But, you know, this bossing people around crap without you lifting a finger, nobody wants to do that, you know. So that's the first thing. For me, that was a big, big lesson, you know. But you know what? I'll say this. When you're in a band and you're stuck in a van or on a bus and you're out there for 2 and 3 months at a time, man, you better figure out how to get along. I mean, you better figure out, seriously, you better figure out how to get up every day and have a good attitude, be positive, because you get out there, man, and you start dwelling on the negative stuff. I mean, whatever it is, maybe you're not eating well, maybe you're not getting enough sleep, you're missing your loved ones, all those things, but you still got to get up and figure it out and figure out how to way to coexist and treat each other with some respect, because I've seen it go really, really bad. I mean, I've seen guys literally, we've been out in Texas, and guys get so upset, they pack up and come home. And we're out there with missing a band member because a guy couldn't keep his, I've seen it go really ugly. So for me, I always tell people, when I hire a band member, it's not their talent first that I'm looking at. It's can I be around this guy for a month and we get along? That's the first thing I look at, the first thing.
Yeah,
and then I go, okay, the guy can actually play his guitar, great. Let's hire him, But if I can't get along with the dude or the dudette, forget it. It ain't happening. And the last thing I'll say, bands, we because people are always, singing our praises and telling us how great we are and all that crap, we get up there walking around like we're somebody, better than anybody, So treat the sound guy with respect. Treat the people on the stage with respect. Absolutely. Talk to your fans. Those things matter, man. They matter so much. You need to be thankful that you're able to get up here and do what you do, and so that's just, some lessons I've learned over the years,
And that's important, because the energy you give is the energy you get back. So
that's
what you're putting out there is what you're going to get back. So you get out attitude and crap, you're going to get that back and then some.
Right. That's right.
So Yep, absolutely. I love that. Okay, so what was the toughest lesson that you had to learn in your career or in your life? Present.
Wow. Toughest lesson. Oh, gosh. For me, I have 3 kids, been married a long time, and I think early on, I would probably have to say the biggest lesson for me was how to navigate these waters and keep your family together, because we went through some, it's just, listen, I'm not going to even sugarcoat this for you. We went through some really tough years, and it's because this industry, it always amazes me when I see couples that have stayed together, through all of this, and there's some that popped in my head. I know, like Denzel Washington's been with his wife a long time. Tom Hanks has been with his wife a long time, and I'm sure there's some music. Even John Bon Jovi's been with his wife a long time, And I look at that, and I'm like, okay, these guys must have been doing something right. And usually when you read up on them, it's because they didn't let the industry get in their house. Like when those cats, they went out, they do their job. When they come home, it's home. They don't bring all that nonsense and all that rock star nonsense in their home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't bring that. They come home and they be a good husband. They be a good dad. They help out and they take off the rock star hat when they're in their house. You know what I mean? And for many years I didn't do that. I would bring that nonsense in the house, and it was like, what are you doing? Dude, this is your home, man. You're not on stage. I mean, you know what I mean? So that definitely was the big, cause that was the biggest lesson. I mean, I could have lost everything. I mean, honestly, I should have. I should have, but thank God I didn't, and I got some amazing kids, and this woman's still with me. So I don't know,
Well, I want to say congratulations for that. That is a blessing, and for you to be able to acknowledge that and share that, because people don't share that, and it's like as a husband or a wife, or even as a father or mother, like you have to find a way to be able to balance.
That's right.
That's still working home. You still have to be able to balance that out, and to know where that line is.
That's right.
Know? And so once you find that line, you consistently walk in it, because you're trying to make sure that you're taking care of both.
Yeah.
So I very much hats off to you, because I totally get that. Okay, that's awesome. So you ready for our final question?
Of course, yeah.
All right. So for the final question, over here in Lounge Park Talk 3. What was the hardest choice that you have had to make regarding your career?
Hardest choice. I hate to admit this. I hate admitting this. I was young, and he has forgiven me since then. My brother got married. I was in a band in Atlanta at the time, and young. I mean, I was probably 21, something like that, 22 or something. Anyway, the band was doing really well, and we had an opportunity to open up for a really big. Oh yeah, we were going to New York. That's what it was. We were taking a trip to New York to play one of the bigger venues up there, and my brother was getting married in L.A. And he begged me, man, find a sub for your show. Come to my wedding. And I did not go to his wedding because of that stupid show that didn't turn out to be anything. Wow. It was just a show, and I missed my brother's wedding because of that. And I have regretted that ever since, man. Anything about it, he was cool about it. He said, I understand, but I should have been there, and I've regretted that ever since. And here's the crazy thing. They're not even together anymore. It doesn't matter though. I should have been there at his wedding, so.
Right.
Another major lesson. That's what this life is about, right? Learning lessons, man.
It is. And that actually goes back to what you said, balancing work with home or work with family, because you don't get those moments again.
No, they're gone. Right.
Yeah. You don't get those moments again. Wow.
Yeah. That was a stupid decision on my part. And I've tried to, now with that said, I have tried to make better decisions because I learned that lesson, so there's definitely been some things that have come up. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to have to miss that. Or I'll work it out so that I can do both if I can. You know what I mean? Like a lot of holidays I've had to miss being on the road or whatever, or like kids' birthdays or something, but I've always tried to make it up. That's the big thing. Okay, no, we're not going to be able to do it exactly on your birthday, but when I get back, I'm going to take this day and it's going to be your day, and so, yeah.
so I'll tell you that if your brother forgave you, that you should forgive yourself.
Yes, ma'am. You're right.
The beautiful thing about that is it was a lesson that you had to learn so that you can be better now. Right? Yeah. So that you're better with your family now. So that you do think about, okay, well, I can't do this here, but this is where I can. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's a hard lesson to learn, but once you get it, like, ain't no stopping you then, because now you're knowing how to balance that out. So, yeah, I got you.
It's awesome.
This has really been a really great conversation, and I thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
Well, thanks for having me. You were a lot of fun. A lot of times it ain't fun. A lot of times you're doing these interviews and you're like, oh man, this is gonna drag on for the next hour. But you silly, so I like it. No, it was great.
That's what's up. Okay, so if it's all right, we're going to play another track. DJ, let's hear All Right.
Oh.
Say it's alright.
Say it's alright.
Say it's alright.
Say it's alright.
Say it's alright to have a good time. 'Cause it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. We're gonna move it slow. When the lights are low. When you're moving slow, it sounds like more. And it's alright, whoa, it's alright. Now listen to the beat, time to pat your feet. 'Cause you got soul, and everybody knows that it's alright, whoa, it's alright. When you wake up in the morning, it's alright.
Say it's alright.
Say it's alright to have a good time. And it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. Everybody clap their hands. Give yourself a chance. 'Cause you got soul. Everybody knows that it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. Play those keys for him, Alex. Come on now. One day I'll find me a woman who will love and treat me real nice. My woe gotta go, my love she will know. Morning, noon, and night she's gonna say, y'all, it's alright.
Say it's alright.
Say it's alright.
It's alright.
Say it's alright to have a good time. And it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. Say it's alright to have a good time. And it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. The Impressions. Thanks, y'all. That's what we call the good stuff.
Yes, it is all right. Okay.
That's Curtis Mayfield before Superfly, baby. That's Curtis Mayfield in the 60s. With the Impressions, man. Yeah, I love that song so much.
I have so enjoyed having you on the show. So I have a request.
Okay.
I want
Anything.
you to sing. Oh, hey! I want you to sing me a few lyrics of one of your songs.
Sing you a few lyrics?
Yep, hit me with a couple notes.
Okay, let's see. The first one that pops in my head is a tune of mine called Remember When. Remember all the games we used to play, like red light, green light, and hide and go seek. Against the curfew, we'd procrastinate. Then rush home before the lights lit up the street. Mom would be on the front porch waiting, making sure we weren't delaying. Would sometimes make it just in the nick of time. So give me a crayon and a piece of paper. Give me the taste of a now and later. Give me a bat and a ball. Life was so simple then. Remember when? There you go.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That inspires me, makes me want to write. Yes.
Good.
Hey, Billy.
Hey, man.
Hey, Billy. This is Ronnie B over here. And, I think it's a little unfair that Shanie had you sing a few lyrics from one of your songs and you don't get to hear something from one of hers. So, wait.
Wait. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah, so we're going to treat you to a little bit of Shanie the Poet. How about that? Okay?
Do it.
All right, check it out.
Hey, I'm Shanie the Poet, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry. And as usual, I have something special for you. One hell of a woman. I need all of my real women to stand up and be recognized. She is, you are, and I am, and will always be one hell of a woman. For all the tears that I've had to cry, for all the pain that I've had to endure, my smile still shines through. I'm able to give you what you need to be you. I am the strength you crave and the wisdom you wish to absorb. One hell of a woman. I can keep your secrets and tell when you lie, release you from your pain or make you cry. I have the ability to step out on faith and still say what's on my mind. I found peace last night when I cried. So yes, I'm still on my grind because I am one hell of a woman. You still can't comprehend the way I've had your back. I've worn many different hats. And although you may not recognize all that I am and all that I am becoming, it will not stop me from sharing what makes me me. See, God broke the mold when he created Shanie. There wasn't one like me before, and I promise you when I'm gone, there'll be no more. And I'm certainly not concerned about the whispers and the gossip. Yep, I'm on top of it. I am one hell of a woman. I am one of the chosen few. So you might want to think before you attempt to mistreat me. And no, I'm not holier than thou, but the universe does have my back, and I got no problem with saying that out loud. Because of him, I am one hell of a woman. I am planting roots. I'm speaking the truth. I'm able to love you and still have more than enough to love me too. I have the ability to create and sustain life and give love, and I will fight when I know that I'm right. I'm balanced. I got a hell of a woman's insight. I am a crowd favorite on some days and a bitch on a day-to-day. For those of you who doesn't understand what that means, I'm beautiful. I'm intelligent. I'm talented, charming, hell of a woman, simply said. And even if you don't think so, I know my role. Can make you laugh, can help you focus, sometimes make you nervous when you rub me the wrong way, and yet still a hell of a woman every day. So you can do your worst, and I'll do my best, moving forward to reflect, leaving you to reflect on the fact that I am, and will always be, one hell of a woman, Shanie.
Unbelievable.
Joy, one hell of a woman.
You were just doing that just now? Was that live?
No, that's not live. That's actually a recording.
Yo, listen. No, seriously, that was bad, man. Hey, listen, I'm actually recording a song of mine called She. I'm going to hit you up. I want you to rap on it. For real. Like, that was brilliant. Are you listening?
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm listening. I'm sorry.
No, I'm serious.
Wow.
I'm dead serious, too. I'm dead serious. I'm actually working on a new EP right now, and I have a song called She that you would fit perfectly on. Do you sing, too?
I do not sing. I just do spoken word.
Okay, well, it's freaking great. Whatever that was, I want it on my stuff. That was great. That was so good. It was so good. Thanks for sharing that with me. That was really, really, really good.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Nicely done, Ronnie B. Can you hear me?
Yeah, he can actually hear you.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me, y'all. You guys are.
I really appreciate having you on the show. I've truly enjoyed myself. I want you to tell our listeners what you have coming up and what's on your plate.
Okay. Well, first thing, the best way to find out about me is go to my website, which is billybuchanan.org. That's billybuchanan.org. BILLYBUCHANAN.org. Then from there, you can go to all my social media stuff, Instagram, Facebook, etc. I play all the time. I got, 3 or 4 dates starting Thursday. I guess through Sunday, I play this, all through the weekend. I'm working on a new EP. I don't have a title for it yet, but I'm actually just finishing up the editing process today, and then they're going into mixing. But I want to add, there's 2 other songs that I'm thinking I'm going to put on it, or just release as singles. And this other, that song She I was just telling you about is one of them. So I'm for real about that. But yeah, and I'm always working on something. I do a lot of stuff. I'm kind of I learned a long time ago, if I'm going to be in this music thing, I need to diversify, so I don't just perform. I write, I produce, I teach. I try to, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of giftings in me within this, I love music, so I try to stay within the music business, if you will, but I do a lot of things in the business. I actually see myself becoming more of a behind the scenes guy as I get older. I love the idea of just being some old man writing all these hit songs, so so we'll see if that happens.
You just spoke that right into existence.
That's right.
Into existence.
That's right. That's right. Well, you guys have been great. Thank you so much for having me. We'd love to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. We'd be honored to have you again. Thank you so much for being our guest here at the Sunshine Lounge. It was absolutely fabulous. I am Shanie. This is the Shanie Sunshine Lounge. Until next time, sending you love, light, and hugs. Smile. You are loved. And that, yep, is a beautiful thing.